So it is going to take a little bit of work to get to that happy place where we come home to orders, bookings, and recruit leads on the phone and in our inbox. But there's some really easy things that we can do. So let's see how we can create the atmosphere where it's easy to do business with our customers and they find it easy to do business with us. We need to get to the happy place where we come home to orders, bookings, and recruit leads on the phone and in our email, where people really want to and love doing business with us and recommend us to all of their friends. And we need to avoid the place where they've got you on caller ID so they can ignore your calls, like I did with my beautician. So the first step is that we need to really think about how we can build trust. And one of the most easy and really important things that you can do is answer your messages promptly. People are slow to get back to you these days. Make it something that you are good at, is answering your messages promptly. But with this, you need to make sure that you're really easy to contact. We just mentioned that things need to be easy for people. Are you easy to contact? Does everybody know how to contact you? Have you got an answer phone? There are still so many people in Party Plan or in business who don't have an answer phone, and I don't know how you can do business without one. People have to be able to leave you a message. You need to be easy to contact. I know that we can get way too many emails, and something like Facebook, if you've got your notifications turned on, it can give you lots of emails and clog up your inbox a little bit. But I think it's important that we have notifications turned on, because you don't want to miss a message. If somebody's trying to get hold of you, trying to contact you for more information or to get a catalogue or a brochure or place an order, you don't want to miss that. So turn the notifications on. It's really easy to go through and delete things you don't want to read, but turn notifications on and make sure you don't miss anything. With your emails, you need to check your emails every single day. There are still a lot of people who only check their emails about every week or two, or very infrequently. And if you're in business, you can't do this. People will email you. You need to check your emails every day. Now, I know that there are a number of people that don't like Facebook and don't want to use Facebook, but I think it's a really important business tool. Even if you don't like Facebook, you need to know and realize that most of your customers are there. And what a shame not to meet them where they already are and get to know them a little bit more. You can find out about your customers' hobbies, their interests, about a little bit about their family, and you can connect with them in a way that you can't do in any other way when you see them really briefly at a party, or you talk to them quickly on the phone, or you send them out an email. It's quite different to that. People can see what you're like as a person. They can see what your interests are. They can see a little bit about your family, and they'll feel like they get to know you a little bit. You need to think about what you're posting on Facebook. A lot of people don't put very much thought into that, but it's obviously important. So if you don't like Facebook and you don't really want to use it, just know you can control what you see. You can control who you're in contact with. But it really is a business tool that just can't be ignored anymore. And I think you're really missing out if you don't use it. It's also, of course, very useful when you start building a team. When you're part of a team, your team's probably using Facebook. So might be something to reconsider if you've been avoiding it up till now. We need to think about how we portray ourselves. Are we well presented? Are we punctual? Do we turn up on time? Do we call on time? Are we honest? Do we genuinely care about people, and can they see that? Also, how do we portray ourselves in places like Facebook? Are we making sure that we're not posting rubbish, that we're not using bad language, that we're not complaining about other people, any of that stuff? Facebook is a fantastic business tool that can increase the trust level, help you get to know customers, but it can just as easily destroy everything that you've built as well. So think about how you use it, and know that it can be your best friend or your worst enemy. But how we portray ourselves is really important, and it helps build the trust and helps create the atmosphere as well. You've probably heard, or quite possibly heard, of the 80-20 rule, which states that the top 20% of your customers will contribute 80% of your income. And it's really important to remember that and think about your top 20%. Think about them and show that you're thinking about them. You can send them surprise gifts with no strings attached whatsoever, just a I'm thinking of you type of gift. Maybe you're out and about and you find something that you know that they would love because you've found out about an interest that they have, maybe through getting to know them a little bit on Facebook. So when you find something that they love, maybe you could send it to them. We do that with our friends. I'm sure that a lot of us do that with our friends. For example, I've got a friend who really loves everything to do with cows, and whenever I'm out and I see something that's cow related, some ornament or some funny book or something, I always think of her, and quite often, if it's something that's not too expensive, I might even buy it and give it to her. And I'm sure that that's something that we often do with our friends, but we can do that with our top customers as well. Maybe you're reading a magazine and you see an article that makes you think of one of your customers, cut it out and send it to them, or send them a link if it's something that you've found online. This will go a really long way to building a fantastic relationship with your top customers. And make sure you're reliable. If we're talking about trust, this has to be the number one thing. Do what you said you would every time. And if you can't do what you said you would, let people know in advance. They don't like being surprised, they don't like being let down, but people are understanding if you get in touch with them and let them know why you can't do whatever it is that you promised. I'm sure we've all had things promised to us in the past that have not eventuated. For example, a lot of party planners, when you're a brand new customer and you're buying something at a party, a lot of people will say, look, I'll give you a call in a couple of weeks' time to see how you're going with your products and make sure that you're happy with everything and it all works okay. And then they never do. It happens so much. And if it's happened to you, think about that, because what you'll know is that you remember it. That somebody promised they would call you to find out if you were happy and they didn't call. If now you don't hear from that person for many, many months and they suddenly call you out of the blue, there goes what I've called cold calling. And it's awkward and not fun, and you might even feel slightly frosty. But when this happens, it makes people feel that you're only going to contact them when there's something in it for you and that you don't really care about them. So if you say I'm going to call you in 2 weeks, call them in 2 weeks. If you say I'm going to call you in 3 days, call them in 3 days. I can guarantee the person will remember if you don't. So we've now come up with some ideas and ways to be able to move further into the green zone, which is the zone where we're going to be able to start using the phone in a much more clever way than we might have been in the past. And we're going to be able to benefit our business in many different ways just by the things that we've been talking about just now.